Good afternoon, class, and welcome to the Unacademy live platform. My name is Arifa Zahir, and today I'm here to talk to you about skimming and scanning. So let's begin. Okay, so today's class, like I said, is going to look at skimming and scanning. So, what is skimming and what is scanning? Now, these are the two essential parts of the IELTS reading structure. Without knowing what skimming is and what scanning is, it would be very difficult for you to do any part of the IELTS reading examination. And also, skimming and scanning do, to an extent, help you with listening also, because when you're listening, you tend to pick up on the keywords. That means you scan. So, not only are they beneficial for reading, but they are also beneficial for listening. Now, further moving ahead, before I begin, let me share with you my Instagram and Telegram handle. Both of them are by the same name, IELTS with Arifa. There you go. So if you'd like to, write to me, talk to me, this is where you would find me. Now, also today I'm here to talk to you about skimming and scanning because we are starting a very special course from today evening, which is on the beginners levels IELTS reading. Now, why is this beginners level IELTS reading so important? And how are you going to benefit from it? Let me tell you. The beginner's level IELTS reading is a part of the beginner to advanced batch course. Now, this particular course I'm sharing with Shruti Kaura, Ayushi Rajput, and Sonia Luthra, the other educators. Now, the thing to understand out here is this particular batch course will be looking at different skills in a very elaborate and extensive manner. We are going to start with the month of June. It has already begun. Move up to July and then August. So June is going to cover the beginner reading aspect. July is going to cover the intermediate reading aspect, and August is going to look into extensive mock tests in regard to the IELTS reading. I'm currently going to begin with matching the heading. Then I'm going to teach you yes, no, not given, then summary, table and sentence completion, and MCQs and short answer questions. So this particular course is going to start today, which is the 22nd of June, and it is going to take place at 8:30 p.m. every night. So I will be seeing you at 8:30 p.m. every night. So in order to attend these classes, you will have to take a subscription. So now let me tell you what are the benefits of the Unacademy subscription. The Unacademy subscription allows you to have one subscription and unlimited access. Learn from your favorite teacher. Real-time interaction with the teacher. You can ask doubts, you can ask queries, you can get all of these resolved. And also you can seek guidance in terms of what you're writing, what you're speaking from the educator. And the educator will be more than happy to guide you through these courses. All right. And also tell you what to watch, what to read, so that you can understand it in a better manner. So that's very important. Now, what are the different types of subscriptions that Unacademy provides? Unacademy provides 5 different types of subscriptions: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months and 24 months subscription. You can see there are already certain discounts given out there. To further get a 10% off, use my referral code BE Trainers. Now this particular referral code will allow you to get a 10% off. Now you need to understand this, that until and unless you don't have a subscription, you will not be able to attend these classes which I'm talking about. It's a different experience attending a live class with an educator where a course is being followed, where you get assistance in each and every regard. If you are just starting, I would suggest a 3-month course would be the best for you, because it will help you understand the complete structure in totality, and you'll improve not only in one skill but all the other skills and with the grammar input. All right, so all these things are very essential in order to get a subscription and improve your scores in the IELTS examination. Now, apart from the reading course, we are currently also doing a writing task 1 course. Today, we would be looking at pie and bar chart. Not today, sorry, tomorrow. And this particular one is going to take place at 4 p.m. every day. So if you are not a subscriber, you know what to do. You need to come to my platform, take a subscription, and then watch these amazing classes. Now let's have a look and see who are there in the class. So, hi Vishnu, hi Neha, hi Devnath, hi Vishal. So nice to have all of you in the class. Now let's have a look at the skimming, a very integral part of the IELTS reading examination. Now, what are the different types of reading questions? So you've got identifying information, matching info, matching features, matching sentence heading endings, matching headings, which we are going to start off with today at 8:30 p.m. So be there, guys. Sentence completion, diagram label completion, short answer questions, summary note table, flowchart completion, identifying writer's views or claims. Definitely, this is your yes, no, not given. And right at the top is true, false, not given. MCQs, another reading task type which is quite difficult, and identifying information. So these are the various types of reading questions that you get in your IELTS examination. So you may be an academic student or you may be a general training student. The questions are going to be there for all of you. The only difference is going to be, and which I would like to point out, is academic students will get three big texts, three big, let's call it texts rather than just comprehension. And the difficulty level keeps increasing. And GT students could get from 4 to 5, texts. Now, the thing to understand is part 3 of the IELTS reading examination is the same for both academic and GT. That means you get almost similar kind of questions which are very heavy, and it would have quite a number of questions. So it's similar for both academic and GT, but part 1 and 2 are different, because in the case of academic it's like one whole text, but in case of GT your part 1 could have 2 texts, and part 2 also could have 2 or 1 text. So we call it sections, section 1, 2 and 3. All right, now let's move ahead and get to know more about the IELTS reading, a very, very important feature, skimming and scanning. Now, how to approach reading? So, is skimming and scanning the only way in which you can solve the IELTS reading examination? Mostly yes. The questions in the IELTS reading, that's what I meant. Mostly yes. They form a major part. But of course, they are not the only, skills that you would need to have. You would also need to have other skills. Of course, yes. Intensive reading, comprehensive reading, speed reading, again, which is skimming and scanning, and also going through the text in totality if you're still not getting the answer. So just because we are teaching you skimming and scanning doesn't mean that these are the only skills that you would be following. All right, so that's very, very important to note. Now, another thing that I would like to talk to you about right now is, guys, I'll just take off my headphone. Can all of you hear me clearly? Give me a quick yes. Thank you, Neha. All right. Timing is very important in the IELTS reading examination. Ideally, you should move on to the next passage after 18 to 19 minutes. We have a very clear rule. Passage 1, 18 minutes. Passage 2, 20 minutes. And passage 3, 22 minutes. What that does is for you, it gives you ample amount of time to concentrate on the questions and do them properly. Now, today's lesson is going to look at speed reading, skimming, scanning, and close reading for sure. Now, all these 4 different skills, talk about how reading can be looked from a perspective of a structural approach. Now, speed reading and close reading is something that would be covered in the next lesson. I'm sorry. And we will be doing skimming and scanning today. But this is simplifying the structure for the students, because a lot of students think that just by reading you are going to be able to score amazing marks. No, the IELTS examination is a structural based examination. In the sense, there are strategies for each type of questions. And when it comes to writing, of course, the structure has to be in place, but also when it comes to speaking. So, if you follow the strategies and tips which are shared with you, you'll definitely be able to understand skimming and scanning and the IELTS reading examination in a much better manner. Good afternoon, Saurav. Good afternoon, Aki. All right. Now, what is speed reading? When a candidate, um, there is no S there, that's a typo. When a candidate is going to take the IELTS reading test, as we know, it is a structure-based format, and general reading techniques actually are not useful. That is reading each and everything. Now, in IELTS, candidates are time-bound and need to be specific while they're looking for answers. But how to read more in less time? Now, the only way to read more in less time is through skimming and scanning. Now, how many of you in the class are aware of what skimming and scanning is? Come on, guys, tell me. Is there anyone in the class who is not aware of skimming and scanning? Not there. So, so everyone is actually aware of skimming and scanning. Yes, I know, Neha, you are aware of it. Now, how to skim? Read the first paragraph attentively to get an idea of what will be discussed in the text. Read the first and sometimes the second sentence of each paragraph. They give the main idea of the paragraph. After you've read the first sentences, your eye should drop down to the end of the paragraph, looking for important pieces of information such as dates and names. Read the last paragraph attentively as it may contain the summary. Now, our suggestion is to all of you that the first para and the last para of any text should be read in detail. It's the paragraphs in the middle that you can definitely use the art of skimming. Now, skimming helps you. Why do we skim? We skim to... Why do we skim? Come on, guys, tell me, why do we skim? What is the major reason behind skimming, students? I would be very interested to read your answers. To get the main idea, the cream. Yes, Neha. Definitely to get the main idea. Hi, Sumit, for getting the general idea. Hi, Haroon. Yes, we skim to save time. That's the most important reason why we skim. To pick out important bits of information. Of course, we could have done that by just reading the text. So the essential reason why we skim is because we want to save time and we want to read it fast. So that is one of the major reasons why we skim. Now, attentively read the uh, first para, I would say, and the last paragraphs. All right, and the last paragraph. Yeah, to save time. Isn't that important? Read only the first sentence, drop down to the end looking for key details. Now, this is specifically for students who've asked me for a visual representation of what skimming looks like. Attentively read the first and the last para. कोई भी, whatever may be your text, read the first para in completion. Read it completely. Yes? Now, for all of you who want a pictorial representation, who wanted a visual imagery of what skimming looks like, you read the first sentence. Where's my pen? And you also, in fact, I haven't marked the last one, but you also read the last one. You can clearly see out here, out here, both are part of the same topic, class division. So you would look at the first line and you would look at the last line, the majority till here, and again from here till here. So that would give you an idea of what the paragraph is trying to tell you. Can anyone guess whether this is an academic text or a general training text? Sumit, that you got that right. To an extent, it looks like a general training text, because generally in an academic text you wouldn't find a lot of divisions. But again, the reason why I just mentioned that to you is it can be confusing. So we prefer to neither call it an academic text or a general training text. We look at it as a simpler version of a text, in the sense that this is an easy passage to do. It is not a very difficult passage to do. So when you get divisions in your IELTS reading material, regardless of the fact that it's an academic or a GT, if you've got divisions already made, you can thank your stars that you've got that text, because then it becomes easier for you to identify your answers. Now that's your reading, skimming. So I hope, guys, skimming is clear to all of you. I'm now going to move towards scanning. Now, before I move towards scanning, I have a very quick question. Here are a lot of activity types. Can anyone tell me which activity type uses skimming majorly? And it's right there, it's looking at you. Definitely, Vishnu. Summary and also very good, Neha. Both the ones, matching the headings and summary completion. Definitely. These are the two ones which look at, you can do a whole matching the heading just with the help of skimming. So that is an important skill to, practice and to inculcate, so that you skim automatically. Now, scanning. What is scan? Why do we scan? If you will notice that generally we scan, you would notice that generally we scan because we are looking for a specific bit of information. So scanning is a very, very important activity in the IELTS reading test, because a lot of questions can be answered by just looking at specific bits of information. They make it very, very easy for you to answer the questions. Now, this is very important to understand, that scanning makes your activities easier to do. Firstly, that. And certain activities depend completely on scanning. Like, for example, if you've got a symbol of a currency given, a pound, of course you would know that you're looking for some digits in the text. So it's very easy to just look at the text and look for certain digits. There's another question type which uses scanning a lot, and that is Just come down, guys. I'll just show you one. Matching features. You will see that you'll get an option A, B, and C. It will be by, say, three writers, you know, three storytellers. So you'll have to look for just their names in the text and then read. Then do a thorough reading to understand what they've said. But to further begin with, when you're identifying, you just have to look at the names. So there are certain activities which follow skimming as a rule, certain activities which follow scanning as a rule, and certain activities which include both skimming and scanning. In our reading course that we are going to start from today, it is going to cover how skimming and scanning can be used to do your IELTS reading in a much better manner, in a faster manner, in a more efficient manner. When you read the question, identify the keyword and scan the text for it. This way you'll find the answer more quickly. Now, can you see this? Social system, capitalist, profit. You look for specific words like this. So it becomes very easy for you to identify your answer and maybe, just understand what the text is trying to tell you in terms of the question. Now, certain questions require you to focus more on the question and then look for answers. Certain questions require for you to look at the para and then look at the questions. Like matching the heading, you look at the para first. And in the case of, these questions specifically, in the case of your matching the para questions, you look at the question first. So for matching the feature questions, you look at the questions first. So for different questions, different approaches. But scanning is very effective and very easy. If you are adept at using scanning effectively, you are going to save time and you're going to be able to do your IELTS reading in a more efficient manner. Close reading. Now, this refers to deciding which answer is correct for any given question. Once you've completed skimming and scanning the text, you must read the set of questions given. You can then locate the answer. Before deciding whether the answer is correct or not, read the entire sentence or paragraph carefully. Useful tips for close reading. Now, why is close reading important? For certain questions like matching the headings, you can just get away with skimming and then doing a close reading later on. But in most questions, you cannot just look at the questions and then find your answer. You will have to do skimming and scanning together. For those questions where you'll have to read in further detail, you will have to refer to close reading. And close reading is extremely helpful for those students who are unable to contextualize. That means students who do not understand the meaning of the words properly. So I would suggest for those students that you read the paragraph, the line before and the line after the main line, to understand the idea behind that particular paragraph. That really helps you and that makes it easier for you to understand what the question is trying to tell you and where you need to find the answer. Try to grasp the meaning of every word you read when you read it in totality. Take proper time to understand the gist of the text. Think carefully before deciding the correct answer. Now, these are the things which are very, very important for close reading, for skimming, and also for scanning. Now, I want all of you to look at this. Now, you can see definitely the part below is not for reading. It's just a close reading or analysis how it would generally be given. This is just some random vocab out there, but you would generally have how does a topic is read. What you do is relevant quote or key passage. Right at the beginning you will find some idea about what the passage is trying to tell you. Then you will have the phrase which is given, the important sentence. Then you'll have the analysis of that sentence. And both the sides talk to you about the same thing. And then further analysis. And then you may have an important italicized sentence out there, which will talk about an extra bit of information. So you're not supposed to get distracted by all of this. You're just supposed to look at what the relevant idea of the passage is, and the analysis of the phrase or the sentence. All right. Now, this is just a pictorial representation, not having an actual text, but yes, that's how you do it. Now we are going to talk about how to look for specific keywords, and that have been highlighted in the red for you to understand. The question is, night person can still have a healthy circadian. Let us look at the text to find the answer. A night person. So this is the text, and I do not expect you to go through it and read it right now, but I would want you to look at some keywords. You can see chronobiology, you can see flora and fauna, you can see marine life, you can see nocturnal animals such as bats and possums, you can see chronobiologists, you can see circadian rhythms, and you can see chronotype. So there's certain words that pop out. Now, when we are looking at keywords, you can see this is how it looks like. So you can see that chronobiology as skimming is right there. So we begin with skimming. We look at what it's trying to tell us, and we try to understand what the other keywords also try to tell us while we are skimming. So the skimming could also include scanning, because you're looking for keywords and you're also skimming. Now, while we skim, we generally find major keywords, and that makes it very easy for us to understand that, okay, this particular para, this particular line has this keyword, and I think I remember reading it in the questions. So let me go back to the question and then bring a correlation and then do this activity. And that is how you do activities like these. Yes, not given. Sumit, that is the answer. The answer is not given. We'll That's not what we are looking for. We are looking at how we can skim and scan and then understand things in a better manner. Now, for students who tell me that, ma'am, I find it very difficult to skim and scan together, I'll just show you a small trick. So I just called out the keywords. If you notice in the last text, I said chronobiology, marine life. I told you chronotype, circadian rhythms. So when I am skimming, I'm also looking at some difficult words. So chronobiology might sound a little futuristic. So I've understood that this particular word might sound a little futuristic, but my mind has also noted that there is a new word called chronobiology. Now, this can take many forms. Marine life, for example. Again, I have noted marine life. And then I remember, okay, there was a particular question which spoke about life underwater. I correlate. And that is how you do both skimming and scanning together. And for all you students who feel that whenever we are doing these kind of activities, you feel that, okay, ma'am is explaining it right now, but later on when I do it, I'm unable to find out because the texts are more difficult. The passages are more difficult. I have an advice for you. You start off with skimming first and see whether you can understand. If you cannot understand, I would suggest that you begin with close reading, because until and unless you can understand what the passage is trying to tell you, all these strategies will not help you. Until your vocabulary is strong, you can understand the correlation between sentences, you can understand what passages are trying to tell you. So it's very, very important, students, that you look at all these skills in totality. If you feel they're too difficult at the beginning, keep them aside. Focus on reading the passage in totality. I hope today's session has helped you. And I hope you will try to use skimming and scanning. We have a class today evening at 8:30 p.m. where we are going to talk about skimming and scanning furthermore, and I'm going to tell you how to use it while doing the activity matching the heading, and you're also going to practice it with me. So let's meet at 8:30 p.m. on the other side, that is the Unacademy website. If you are a subscriber, you'll be able to attend. If you're not a subscriber, I would suggest you take a subscription. Here are the 5 options. You can use my referral code BE Trainers to get a 10% off. Thank you so much, students. I hope today's class was interesting and was useful for all of you. If you like today's class, please don't forget to like the like button and put in your valuable feedback. Thank you so much. And we will be meeting today at 8:30 p.m. and tomorrow we will be meeting at 4 p.m. to do pie and bar chart. Alright, so that's it. IELTS writing task 1 tomorrow at 4 p.m. and reading every day this week at 8:30 p.m. That's it for today's students. Bye and you're most welcome. Yes, Azan, you are late, but not a problem. You can always watch the lesson again and get a clearer idea on what was taught. And don't watch it immediately now. I think you'll be able to watch it clearly only after half an hour, 45 minutes. So come back and watch it after an hour and you'll be able to watch the complete lesson. Don't forget to take notes while you're watching the class. All right? Thank you, guys.